Welcome to Future Hidden Movie Gems. My name is Jordan. Cook some stupid woman. Cook something for your husband. And I got my co-host Cameron.
Put some bean paste on it. It'll make it feel better.
And then her saying it back to him was the best revenge line when she's just hucking it at him and just throwing it all over his body. Put some
It,
bean
it was kind
paste
of
on it.
it was kind of a horrifying visual though when she was like rubbing it on him. I'm like, oh, I don't love this.
Yeah, all over his dead body. Yeah. But all right, I'm really excited to hear your thoughts, Cameron, because I was really nervous. I got a phone call. Cameron's like, I'm 45 minutes in this movie and it's rough. I don't think I can do this.
Yeah.
Okay. So wait, tell me. I don't recognize any of these specific actors, but they all gave 110%. Um, just really quick, we're talking about Bedevilled. I believe that's how you pronounce it, and I apologize if I'm butchering that. But his director is Cheol-soo, and the lead star is Yeong-hie. So, but they all gave great performances.
Oh, and Seong Wong Ji, who is the girl from Seoul.
Is she really? Okay, I missed that.
No, she's just from Seoul, not the movie,
Oh,
like
oh,
Seoul,
oh,
the city in Korea.
yeah. Okay, I thought you meant from Train to Busan,
Oh no.
because they had to. Wait, Busan isn't Seoul. Why am I confusing those two?
Yeah, wait, then maybe is this movie Korean? I don't know.
Now I'm starting to wonder. They sounded it like it, didn't they?
Yeah, and they kept talking about Seoul, which is South Korea, but a lot of the things talked about Hong Kong and stuff like that, and the trivia. But I don't know.
Yeah, it's so yeah, we apologize for not knowing what it is, but the performances were amazing. I absolutely love this movie. It's in the top 10 as far as revenge movies go. I think it's up there. I think it's right under. I don't know if you have the same feeling, Cameron, but I think it's right under I Saw the Devil. I don't think it's
It's definitely under I Saw the Devil for me.
okay. But it is a step above, though. This is the ending I wanted for Eden Lake. I know you hated that ending, but Eden Lake and this movie, I feel like build up the perfect villains. I just think they spend enough time, maybe too much time, focusing on these horrible, despicable, deplorable human beings. Like I said,
Yeah.
Cameron called me halfway in, and I'm like, just make it to the halfway mark. If you can just push to the hour point, then it starts to get insane. And it turns into, I mean, it's a horror show, but it's actually a slasher flick. Like if we had followed Victor Crowley before he turned into a
Or he
serial killer.
snapped. Yeah.
Yeah. And we followed how much he got bullied until finally he just had a breaking point. But that makes me happy too that you texted me and said Drew enjoyed it because I was really nervous that he was gonna forever never want any of my recommendations ever again.
Oh no. Even if it was bad, Drew would still take your recommendations.
But so did you finally like it? Sorry, I want to hear what was it like watching it, Cameron, for
Yeah, kind of like Jordan mentioned at the start, it was pretty rough, and I was really struggling to get through it. It was just a whole lot of like rough stuff to see.
abuse, yeah.
Yeah, because that's what's nice. It's like about I Saw the Devil is almost every single scene that does have abuse is immediately combated by the dude who's dealing the abuse being almost killed.
Yeah, and it's not an hour of the abuse. It almost feels
Yeah.
like if Django Unchained was like the first hour was Mandingo fighting, and then the second half was the revenge.
Well, that's I told Drew when we were watching it. I was like, this is like Django, except none of the shooting. I was like, this is just a whole lot of horribleness. Yeah. So I mean, it's definitely rough to start, but honestly, I think it does a really good job of setting it up because I don't think if it didn't have that first hour, I don't think I would have been on her side for killing the old
Yes.
women, especially the old women. Like the abusing guy, you give one or two scenes, and I'm like, he deserves a nice trash.
Yeah.
But like the grandma and stuff like that, just her constant disregard for just her feelings and just her overall happiness as a human being. clearly, I think maybe the grandpa was also really abusive, and that's why the grandma is just like such a terrible person.
Well, and I'm curious, did you, Cameron, it was happened so quickly. They said all the men died on the island at one point. Do you think that man killed the other guys in the island? And that's why she didn't kill him? I was like, why didn't she kill him? I guess he wasn't there and was a part of the whole like turning against her.
Yeah, I don't. That's interesting. I mean, me and Drew just were joking that she spared him because he was just like vibing the entire show, just eating his leaves that were making him high. He was just like,
That's what I wondered if that was what that was like the Leafs were getting them high because everybody was chewing on them, or if it was just something to do because like some people just chew on things. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. I think someone said that the leaves make you feel a certain way or something like that.
Oh, I wonder if that comes from the if it's like opium. Like that's a huge thing in China, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah. So then, as soon as she looked up, as soon as she was going to town on those potatoes, me and Drew both were like, she's about to snap.
Yes. Yes.
And then the son spoke to her, and the son said, "Murder everyone in sight."
Okay, but I wish I could have seen your
I
faces. My wife could hear me in the other room going, "Oh!" like every time she killed somebody.
Yeah, it was funny every single time she would kill somebody. Me and Drew would instantly look at each other, like to try to like look away, and then we'd like slowly glance back and like watch her just brutally murder. And man, she was accurate with that cleaver, the neck shot almost every time.
Yep. And decapitated that one dude. Man, she had some amazing deaths. My favorite though, Cameron, was the lady in the forest when she's like shaking and she didn't sleep at all night, so her eyes are like and her death is perfect. I'm sorry. She's like, I'm gonna go warn him, and she just like jumps.
She almost made it.
There was
It reminded me of Shutter Island.
oh yeah, did somebody die? Because that's the other thing is in Shutter Island, you're like, oh no, did somebody actually jump? Remember he looks down,
Yeah.
there's like a body, and then it's
And
gone.
then it's gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but yeah, that her death was hilarious.
There was two parts that made me laugh out loud. That part, and then the other part was when the guy gets to the boat and tries to start it, and then he looks, he's like, "Oh," and it's the wires are cut, and he was screwed.
Oh man. And then she's like, "Start the fetching boat, you useless piece of crap." And
And then
he's like, "You're the pathetic one." And they're like name calling. I'm like, there's literally a serial killer on the mount. Like,
I know, and then when they pan over and she's standing right there, I'm like, "Oh shoot, dude!"
yeah.
There's
That kind of goes into like my favorite thing is just once she just snapped, how calm she was about everything is insane. Like it's so much scarier than like somebody chasing after you. I don't care what you say. Like for example, as the grandma when she's like and she's just like slowly marching after her, I'm like, bro, you're so screwed. Oh man. And then when she fetching took the knife in her mouth and stabbed him, I knew that was going that direction though when she started like um
oh, licking the blade. Yeah,
yeah.
that
I
was
was like
weird. And
I
then
was
she
like,
puts her finger in his mouth, and then she just like tries to bite it off. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
psycho.
Yeah.
No, it was funny because as soon as she put the knife in her mouth, me and Drew both looked away. We were like, please don't. Because we
Yeah.
thought she was gonna like stick it through her cheek or something, and that would have been horrendous. But yeah, holy cow. I think that's just my favorite thing is how like stoic she was. And then honestly, my second favorite thing is I think the revelation scene was so cool. Like when when you see that the girl from Seoul who was her best friend actually witnessed her daughter dying.
That was the craziest and they
I was
waited and
like,
held off to the right moment.
and I was just like, oh my gosh, you do deserve to die. Actually, I don't know if you, well, I was like, I don't know if you deserve to die, but
Yeah.
me and Drew were just talking about it, and we were just talking about how she had never done anything selfless in her entire life.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like even when she was a kid, when they had that flashback. I mean, and then at the very end, I think she had the greatest character growth. At first, I wanted her to die, but I mean, they wrapped it up perfectly.
Oh,
I
her
mean,
reading the letters. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, well, and her turning in that one guy finally, when she finally did one right thing. Like you
Yeah,
said, her whole life she's just been kind of avoiding, like, oh, what a horrible way to live. Like she just lives in like,
only does what's convenient for her.
yeah, and just kind of ignoring everything, kind of because it's just kind of too hard to deal with. Like she just
Yeah,
has to shut it all out.
yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
she did show up at the island. I mean, so clearly she cared like for
but
her.
no, but see, but she only did that because she got forced on vacation, and she probably had
That's a
nowhere
good
else to
point.
go. Maybe
Yeah.
probably didn't have enough money to go anywhere else.
Yeah, good point.
So it's probably the only place she knew that if it would take him back with, and she didn't have to pay for anything. That what I don't understand is, and I guess me and Drew were talking about it. Like maybe it's just because she's so selfish, but like, why, why didn't she like the cops right there? Why didn't she speak up? Like I don't
Well,
understand.
because there's one cop and there's three strong men. Like
I
they could have
guess
overpowered and then killed her. Because you saw
still,
how like crazy he was. Like,
I know, but like. Like we'll see, I can understand not wanting to say anything if nothing had been said, but the chick was already crazy. She was already like, screw you, you this killed him, like this friggin' sucks, like my husband did it. And so that's what you got to like testify and say like, oh yeah, no, he did. And you can even say whether it was on accident or not, like he killed her. But like the fact that she just to his face, oh, I was sleeping the whole time. Cause and that's the best part is us as the audiences, we're like, oh dang it, I wish she saw it. And then you fetch and see that she did see it, and you're like, oh my gosh, she saw it. And that's what I honestly loved also the ending of the girl when she like went into the jail cell and then just like laid on her lap. Cause that's what me and Drew were talking about is just like her misguided like love with uh the girl from Seoul was all just because she was the only girl who like treated her with affection, who didn't abuse her.
yes.
And so I'm
Yeah.
like, of course you're going to naturally unhealthily like want to attach to this person because they're the only person that doesn't abuse you. And I
I
mean,
know.
who
It's
knows?
so sad too, because like, and she's not even like, the saddest part is like she's attached to this girl that's like doesn't really feel anything back for her.
No, she's just only does what's best for her.
Oh, it's so
It
devastating.
reminded me a lot of Other Side of Heaven and just kind of how um I don't know if you remember like the scene where the girls go on the boat with those creepy white dudes.
Oh yeah, that's
I
right.
just think of like certain people like that where it's just like you're just in a really hard situation and then you just get caught in like in circumstances like that and then you can just like never like I can't believe like dude that's what me and Drew were talking about is like we were so like what happened to the prostitute? Was she just murdered?
Oh, I thought she would just go back and forth between the islands, so I think
No,
she
but
just
I
went
know
home.
but remember the day that the daughter got murdered, like the guy who was like the creepy one who didn't speak, who was the rapist, he like grabbed her by the back of the hair and was like pulling her away.
Oh shoot, I forgot about that. That's right.
And you never
Oh
see her
yeah,
again. And so
she's probably killed.
I'm like, she probably got murdered because she witnessed that and would probably testify and was also going to help. Dude, and screw that guy for fetching, not driving the boat away when the husband came. Let me
Oh,
count. Let me,
I wish Drew was here. I was gonna ask him if you flipped off the screen at all during the movie. I was like, I know Cameron's so mad.
I definitely did. When that dude was like, let me flip through the money, I definitely was flipping off the screen. I was like, I said to Drew, I said, he better die.
Yeah, there is so many characters that just like,
Oh,
I love a movie. I mean, we've mentioned this before. Quentin talks about stretching a rubber band to see how hard you can stretch it before it snaps. Like this movie literally stretches it. I don't think you could have got any tighter for the
no.
tension. Like he built that scene literally
He
for the first hour.
he has a good heart, Jordan. When that chick said that, I was like, see, that was the moment for me that's why like it justified for me the killing of the old ladies. I was like, yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah, y'all deserve to
well,
die.
what it was for the ladies too, just them turning against her and convincing the police officer that she was actually the one that killed the child. Like I mean, oh boy. And then all the women not standing up and just like the other two girls, like the other two old women, like they weren't, like you said, as evil as the head lady, but they
Uh-huh.
kind of just they were kind of like her posse. They did whatever she said. And
Absolutely.
so they were, honestly just as guilty, but
Oh, 100%. And just their overall neglect for the abuse and the adultery that was going on. I'm just like, he's
well,
literally cheating on her all the time.
yeah, well, two of them were neglecting it. The other one was like saying, you're lucky you have a man and stop complaining. And you're like, what?
I know. I'm like, what the fudge is wrong with you? Honestly, it's for the betterment of mankind that everyone from the island was eradicated.
Yeah, they were really the worst. Oh my gosh. Like, I love a movie where people are so segregated from the rest of the world. Just crazy things were happening, and it's like nobody really could know or do anything about it.
Yeah.
Um, and it's just sad when you have all of them. There's another film pretty similar, just as far as like, well, I guess Midsummer is sort of like that, where they're kind of segregated off from the rest of the world.
Yeah.
But one that has like an island, they remade it with the Nicolas Cage. What was that one called? They're on an island, the crazy people. I can't remember it, dang it. But uh, that is also a really good one. If I can, Wicker Man. The original classic is so good because this cop goes to an island because a girl goes missing and he's investigating Cameron.
Shutter
It's
Island.
yeah. Oh yeah. Good point. It is Shutter Island. And so same thing. People start making him feel crazy because they're all hiding and covering up things, but they're all in on it. Dude, Cameron, yeah, if you like Shutter Island, you should definitely check out Wicker Man, the original. The Nicolas Cage one, that one's so bad it's good. So if you're looking for a bad movie, but if you're looking for a good movie, the original is really great. So you have to add that to the bucket list. But similar to this one, I just uh like a society in which, or like equilibrium, it's like there's just one guy kind of fighting against the system. Like there's just something really fun about that. And obviously I love a good revenge movie, which this is so good.
Yeah.
It is a bit harsh. Cameron mentioned the first hour is very rough. Some scenes you got to skip. It's just, I can't even watch some of the scenes. It's so bad. But I do appreciate that there's some parts I'm just glad they alluded to it and they didn't actually show anything. Like you don't know
Yeah.
about the younger daughter, but
Oh,
like she's putting on makeup and stuff and just little things that you're like make your stomach turn and you just feel so
oh,
disgusted. And she's
yeah.
like, is he doing anything else? And she just smiles and she's like, and then just there's so many amazing little moments when, like you said, the guy got paid and then he left her on the island, and right then I'm like, oh no, she's screwed. Like, and because she witnessed and she didn't take her chance when she had that chance to get off the island.
Oh yeah. Dude, I would have been the first one on that fetching boat. Are you kidding me? She's out here taking her sweet time. I would have left everything I owned behind and just made sure I got on that boat.
I know. Oh my goodness. But yeah, this one's hard to recommend unless you're okay with like really brutal films and you're willing to sit through an hour of torture.
Yeah, if you like, I feel like I saw the devil.
Yeah, and I
Um,
recommend that one first, and
yeah,
then
definitely. And then if you thought that was lightweight, then maybe check this one out. But
uh
yeah, that I saw the devil. There's just much quicker justice. Justice is more swift in that movie, whereas this justice doesn't come
it's
until an hour and
painstakingly
15 into the
long.
movie. But when it comes very swift.
Oh man. And yeah, there was only one, and I wouldn't call it nitpick, but just the one I felt kind of bad for the officer. He was the only person that got mixed up in the whole thing. I felt really bad for because he didn't do anything. He was just,
Uh, and that's just my cynicism. I think he deserved to die because, like,
What?
anyone with half a brain could have seen that he was being bribed. Like, they're like, "Oh, take the honey, oh, and this
Oh,
melon."
was that the guy that got bribed was the officer that got his head smashed in?
Yep.
Okay. Wow, that changes a lot of things. Okay, I didn't realize he was the same guy.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. All right, well, he saw clearly something was going on and he hit it. I
Yeah.
didn't realize he was the same guy.
Yeah.
Mm,
Dude,
okay.
the only moment of sympathy I had for him was when he took the sledgehammer to the nuts. I was like, me and Drew both grimaced.
I know that was just as bad as I saw the devil with the wrench.
Oh, fudge. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, this movie is very brutal, but if you like revenge flicks, it reminds me a little bit of Last House on the Left, except that one is way worse. And that one takes it too far. This one, I don't know. This one's it's pretty up there. Yeah.
It's rough.
Yeah, it's a hard one to recommend, but I mean, like we mentioned, check out I Saw the Devil First. If you can handle pretty brutal films. So,
Yeah.
but any final thoughts, Cameron, before we talk about what we've seen lately?
Um,
I just thought the performances were amazing. Talk
yeah.
about some of the best build of suspense. So many moments where they give you a little bit of a glimmer of hope, and then they take it away from you, and
Well,
it's
I mean,
devastating.
I can definitely like. I think they did a good job of showing you why she snapped, and like what
Yes,
me and Drew were talking about it when she was just like unloading on her husband. We're like, that's 20 years or 20 or 30 years of abuse and neglect and like mistreatment, just all being taken out on one moment.
yes,
That's and then
yeah.
she then the bean paste.
I know it's so good because like earlier on, she's putting it on for her bee stings that he like inflicted on her.
And
I
then
just
also he said to put it on the daughter. When the
Oh
daughter hit her head,
jeez.
he said, put it on her head, she'll be fine. And then that was when
Gosh.
she's like, get away, don't touch him. Or don't touch her, don't touch me.
Yeah.
Insane.
Well, I love so much that like with all the little subtleties, it felt so real. Like they showed so many moments like the bee part when he just threw it. Like it showed so much more like of the small abuse as well as the horrible absolute big stuff he did.
And then her husband was a great actor in front of the policeman. I just tried to provide for her. I even gave her money. I'm like, his mother. I'm like, he really just said that. He really just said, I tried to provide for her. I know it's not much. I'm like,
Yeah.
hmm.
And you're right, because the officer, I think, even like, didn't he see her bruises or something? Like, he knew something was up.
I mean, how can you not in that situation?
Yeah, but I don't know. I would be freaked out. I'd be like, I need to get some backup. I'd be like, yeah, everything's fine. And then I'd come
Oh,
back with the
I don't
berate.
understand why policemen ever do anything without backup.
I know.
'Cause
Yeah, you don't.
it just reminds me of Wind River, dude. I would never. That's also why cops
Yes.
like never let anyone behind you.
Oh, and Cameron,
Blanket me.
did you think of Parasite when like the snapping part? Because just like Parasite, you like understood when he finally snapped, you're like you could see why. I feel like they're so good at showing you how somebody literally could have a breaking point. Like they showed you all the parts and you sat through it. And like you said, it was probably, I mean, her whole life, but we got to see an hour of it and it was like, man, I could barely get through that hour. I can't imagine, an entire lifetime of that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Not the life for me. That's how I'm like. Me and Drew were really worried though that she was gonna kill herself
Oh,
when she was looking up. I was like, please don't just stab. Like, we thought she was just gonna like stab herself and then just be like, this is a cruel world. But luckily, she brought justice.
yeah, took everybody else with her.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I thought the beginning when the lady, wouldn't turn in the guy. And then at the end when she finally did, I just thought it wrapped up the whole story really well. So,
yeah.
especially because I don't think she was the protagonist. I think,
That's what me and Drew were talking about. Is we were just deciding like a third into the movie. We were deciding who the protagonist was. It was between the soul girl, the daughter, and then the mother.
I think it was the mother. And I think, the girl from Soul was kind of just
Plot device.
yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Kind of the person to just, kind of like Kurt Russell in Big Trouble in Little China. He's just kind of walking through and everything's happening around him. And it's just like you're kind of seeing from his point of view, but he's not
Yeah,
really
what the main protagonist. Yeah,
yes. Yeah.
he's just like experiencing chaos.
But it's fun though, because she still gets character growth, even though she
Yeah.
is kind of everything else is going on around her. So It's such a good movie.
Insane.
There are some people in the world, man, that are just too wicked to live on this earth. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, some people just need to be eradicated.
Yeah.
Like anyone who just needs to be eradicated.
I know. Yeah.
And along those same lines, that's what one of the pretty much all I've been watching is New Girl, lots of Titans, and then Teen Titans as well. And then I watched Sins of Our Mother on Netflix. Sweet Mother of Mercy.
Such a good documentary. Oh my gosh.
Speaking of spoiler, people who sacrifice children also need to be brutally murdered. Gosh, dude, I hope that dude gets the death penalty and the mother.
Yeah.
They're up for whatever trial in 2023, and Idaho's going for the death penalty.
I
Let's
hope
go,
so.
baby. Hope they
They're
get deplorable human beings.
the worst.
Anyone who sacrifices children for any cause, make me sick.
Yeah. I mean, and like she genuinely believes she saw them because like in court she was smiling. And I think it was your wife that said she looked like the Joker. Or was that you?
Yeah, that was both of us. We were like, she kind of looks like the Joker.
She looked insane. And like she was happy. And she's just like, nobody, I mean, she's like, oh yeah, she kept relating herself to Abraham because Abraham was asked to kill his son by God. And it makes me sick when people use, stories from the Bible to justify what they do. Like, oh yeah, God asked me to kill these kids. Like,
I know.
what?
Like,
No,
I don't think it works like that.
no. But yeah, I mean, and then how she manipulated the cops. I know we talked about all this already, but it's unreal. Like
Yeah,
amazing documentary. If you guys like
amazing
documentaries.
what you can get away with being good looking. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's similar to the what's it called? It reminds me a lot of the not Manson, the Ted Bundy.
Mm-hmm. Oh
Oh, it's
yeah. The
like
did that Zac Efron one, right?
yeah. I mean, Ted Bundy in real life looks absolutely nothing like that.
Yeah.
I don't care what type of like you could be on some serious drugs and he still wouldn't be as good looking as Zac
He
Efron.
he was an okay looking person, but I think a lot of it came from his charisma and like he was just really good at talking to girls.
Yeah. Which that I can understand and like how that can be very alluring, especially if like a semi attractive guy is just very charismatic. Like a girl could easily just be like, "Oh yeah, I'll hop in your little VW bug for you to bash my head open." Gosh, dude.
Well, that's funny
Fancy.
because like the majority of like moms listen to like serial killers and stuff because I'm sure they just find it fascinating because like men being able to manipulate these women or just like being able to like charm them and then they turn out to be insane.
Yeah, it's so good. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
there's some great ones on Netflix. I think that one and Tinder Swindler are up there and definitely my favorite of
the
Netflix
Manti
documentaries.
Teo is also
That
great.
one's really great. What one was that one called? It was like,
Untold.
yeah, The Girlfriend That Didn't Exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, that one's insane. That one definitely changed my perspective on Manti Teo because I used to always think, man, what a nub. How'd you get catfished?
Yeah,
Which I mean, still, you should have never ever gotten that far into a relationship with someone that you've never seen their face.
exactly. Yeah, I know
Especially,
his dad
and
tried
it's
to warn him. He's like, "Oh, did you see this person?"
yeah, have you met her? And that's the thing is like, even like I understand maybe never have met in person and kind of doing like those like because I know especially with like nowadays and technology, but that's the thing is like FaceTime was already created and he would try to FaceTime her and then she would say things like, "Oh, it's just not like my can I can see you, can you see me?" Like ish like that where I'm like, if that happened 3 times in a row, I might be like, "Are you a 64-year-old man?"
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
Like you got to start piecing some things together. You can't just let that always slide. So, I mean, he's definitely naive, but I don't know. Like I just feel bad for him.
Yeah.
But um I'm looking forward to the new Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse trailer just dropped.
Yeah, I don't
Not sh-
I'm
not sh-
tempted.
they don't show pretty much anything. It's just
Oh,
like
good, because I didn't want to watch it because I'm like I don't want to watch any spoilers.
it's pretty much just like all from the previous movie and just it's just essentially Miles's mom explaining how she's scared for him just because he's her little boy. And she's like, when you go out there as a man, just make sure to protect my little boy. And then it shows like 25 seconds of the new movie, and it's just essentially Spider-Man 2099 hunting down Spider-Man and Gwen, which looks freaking dope. Because Spider-Man 2099 has like the dopest costume. I don't really know his whole story very well. It's probably the least out of the Spider-Mans that I know. But I just know he's from the future. Apparently he might be evil. So
Hopefully they got the same people working on this one as they did the last one because that was so good.
yeah, I mean visuals look like it. So
They still got the same department. Well, I just wonder, yeah, the same directors and writers because they are so funny. And so if that's the case, because I loved Mitchell's versus the Machines. I know not everybody did, but I thought it was great.
I don't understand why people don't like that.
Yeah, I thought it was so funny. Maybe because it's more like Nickelodeon humor, which I guess some people don't dig that. I think it's hilarious. Kind of reminds me of SpongeBob.
Only
Just
the
like,
refined taste people enjoy SpongeBob humor.
yeah. Um, yeah. What else are you looking forward to, Cameron?
Um, that's mainly it. I've been grinding on Titans, which they're I'm in season
That's the
4.
live action one, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm in season 4. It's a little cheese. It's kind of like Arrow and Flash, except like definitely darker. Definitely darker. Um, but like in the most recent season, this past season, it was kind of crazy. Dick Dick Grayson is the first Robin and became Nightwing, left, and then Batman got a new Robin whose name is Jason Todd. Jason Todd was with the Titans for a while, came back because he had some issues. And then what's it called? He went out to fight the Joker, and the Joker murdered him, and then was brought back to life by the Lazarus Pit and came back like super vengeful and essentially wanting to kill everyone that Batman didn't have the guts to kill. Um, and so, but when after Jason Todd died, Batman went and murdered the Joker in jail and beat his head in with a crowbar. And then, and then after that, he like vanished and never came back to Gotham. And so then, like, Gotham kind of slipped into chaos. And then Scarecrow started taking over the city with Red Hood, who's Jason Todd back. And so he just starts like, they like start murdering people. It's insane. And then anyway, um, it's because Jason had created with the help of Scarecrow created it's like the reverse fear gas. It's a drug that gives you no fear because that's what he was taking. But the dose that Scarecrow originally gave him is what got him killed, is because it like numbed his senses a little bit because he wasn't like afraid of anything, so he didn't like hear Joker coming from behind, and then Joker got him. Anyway, the new season is insane too because well, the first season is essentially Raven, her like she's the spawn of Satan, well Trigon, and because her mother like was part of a cult and then had a baby with the devil.
That's right. You said that last time. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's kind of crazy. And then the
It's kind of a fun premise, though. It's like, it's
yeah
just weird and different. It's kind of like, isn't Clash of the Titans? It's like Zeus had a baby and it's like half human, half god.
yeah, and so it's what I really like is like for me, I just love the like. There's a lot of cameos on a lot of like Easter eggs, and then I also just love like the relationships because a lot of it is just like I mean most of the characters I watched growing up, and so it's kind of fun seeing like a live action twist on them. A lot of them they have really interesting takes on certain things because Beast Boy originally is he got his blood from his cousin or like a girl who used to be friends with his mother, and she was a Martian, and so that's what gave him it turned him green, and then also gave him like animal transforming abilities. But in this movie, it's just like he just like was about to die, and then he got infected and saved by something, and he can only change into like a tiger, and then like occasionally other animals. But yeah, it's really good. The new season's insane. There's like the serial killer that like freezes people. Well, like he like appears in nightmares and then like murders people, and then he just put this chick in like a nightmare coma. So pretty insane. But yeah, that's about what I'm looking forward to, at least for now. What about you?
I've been watching a lot of Community with my wife, which is amazing. This is my third time watching it. I love
Same.
Community. Dan Harmon is seriously one of the greatest writers ever. Um, and then I've been watching the new episodes of Rick and Morty. There's, I think, been 3 or 4 episodes I really liked this season, and then some I did not care for at all. But um, I feel like they're pandering a little bit too much to the fans, but that's fine. They, uh, but one of my favorite ones, Will Forte was a guest on. It's called oh, not Look Who's Talking, Analyze Piss, which is which
Analyze
is
this.
yeah, which is making fun of Analyze This, which is a really fun movie. I think you'll like, Cameron, and we'll have to watch it sometime. But did you watch any of the new episodes of Rick and Morty yet?
No, not yet.
Okay. I think they're done now. I think they just released their last
Oh,
episode.
really?
Yeah. So you have to check it out. Well, I mean, some of the episodes at least are really good. That one personally I liked. I showed it to my wife. She didn't like it as much. I think she likes the um what's the one with the Meeseeks episode? It's like your like favorite. We watched
I
that
do
one
love that.
twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I like the couple of the episodes of the new season, and that was definitely one of them. So you should check that one out. I at least I liked it. I don't know. Like I said, I showed my wife and she wasn't crazy about it. Um, I just thought it was like it had a lot of heart to it. I was just surprised that and then well, I don't want to spoil it, but something happens at the end that you're like, because my wife's like, that's so weird. Like, why is he acting so out of character? I don't know if I just gave it away, but anyways,
So Rick was kind,
yeah. Yeah, he just did something that was really cool.
selfless.
And I thought it was fun too, just kind of the social commentary about like people. I mean, it's basically what The Boys does, which is just people and their images on TV and stuff, and like how quickly things can become big and how quickly they can disappear, but also just I don't know, it's just clever, like Rick and Morty always is. They're just really well written. So I just
Hey,
love
I'll have to
Dan
check it
Harmon.
out.
Um, yeah, at least
When
that
is new Invincible season coming out?
not soon enough. I know. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be so exciting. And
I
then
kind of want to rewatch.
and I've been rewatching Trailer Park Boys, which I know you don't love, but this is my third time watching it all the way through.
I might have to rewatch season 1 of Invincible.
Yeah, and Trailer Park Boys.
Absolutely not.
Okay. And then yeah, and I absolutely love like all the characters in Trailer Park Boys. I'm obsessed with that show. It's so funny. Oh my goodness. The humor is amazing and Canadians are gosh dang funny. I just love Tyrone or Tyrese. Oh, what's his name? And I just love when he says "nah mean," and then he just keeps saying that word over and over again. And then they're like, you can't keep saying the word "nah mean" all the time." And he's like, he's like, "What are you, the nah mean police? You're gonna you keeping track of how many times I say nah mean, nah mean?" And he just keeps saying it. And then I just love how he says it because he thinks he's black, and he's clearly white.
That's funny.
Yeah, and he just how he speaks is a quote unquote gangster or whatever. So
A wankster.
wankster, yeah, wannabe. So yeah, I'm watching that, and then I've been grinding, trying to get this last Friday the 13th achievement because I'm trying to get it before the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game comes out. I'm so excited. Um, yeah, that's about it. And then obviously, oh, and then I started rewatching Banshees of an Nourishman, or however you pronounce
Of
it.
inertia.
I think it's a Nourishman because it ends with man.
Oh,
But it's unbelievable. Martin McDonough is seriously up there with the Coen brothers as far as his writing goes. He did You still need to watch Three Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri, Cameron.
Yeah.
But I really want to watch that one with you. So maybe we can watch it this Christmas. That'd be really fun.
Okay.
I'd be down. And he did In Bruges. He did Seven Psychopaths. His writing's just really fun, witty, clever.
We still have to finish Seven Psychopaths too,
That's right. I forgot we didn't do that.
because we were like 20 or 30 minutes in. You're like, let's watch something else. I'm not really feeling Seven Psychopaths, and I'm like,
Well,
okay.
because I had just watched it with my roommates, and so like, and that opening scene is so funny. It just gets me every time. Um, yeah, but I'm rewatching that movie and I'm excited to finish it. Oh, and then I started The Lobster with my wife. Did you finally watch it, Cameron, or not yet?
No.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. I'm excited for you to watch it and I'm hear your thoughts.
It's such
So,
an
and then
interesting world.
it's what I didn't hear a word you said.
It's such an interesting world.
Yeah. Yes. And yeah, it's kind of like they're like children almost. I'm excited.
It almost reminds me of like The Giver, kind of like
Oh, interesting. Yeah, and kind of a like,
exploring.
well, there's like a darker undertone in this world.
Yeah,
Like
where
in The
it's like
Giver,
it's like exploring like basic human functions, but then like underneath they don't want you to do something, and then that does that like inner rebel, and everyone's like, oh, you don't want me to do it? I want to do it.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's what I've been in. Like Cameron, I'm looking forward to seeing Invincible, and I don't know. It's been a good year for movies and theaters. Personally, I know a lot of people thought like the Marvel movies weren't great, and that's fine because I haven't been watching them because I don't care. There's been a lot of like good filmmakers making good things, like Martin McDonagh, and uh, so, and then my favorite director, now book writer, uh, S. Craig Zahler is still writing books, so it's fine with me. I get I get all the stuff I want, so I would like him to go back to directing, but
I'm
if I
trying to see. I want to see what out of my top 100, if any, like what's the most recent one that's
film,
been released.
yeah, from one of your favorite directors or something
Yeah.
that they've come out with. Well,
Well, no, I'm just saying in general, out of my top 100, like when's the last? Let me see.
yeah, well, David Fincher made that one from Bad Robot. I mean, sorry,
Mid,
not Bad Robot.
Midnight is the only 2022 movie in my top 100.
Oh, you're saying of recent films making your top
Yeah.
100. The Northman didn't make it. Was that this year or was that last year?
The Northman was this year. It did not make it, but
Mm,
it's hard. It's hard to justify it not being in my top 100, because I watched it again with Drew, and yeah, there's very little that's wrong with that movie. So it might
yeah.
end up being in my top 100, but it's just hard getting rid of my others. Yeah, and then in 2021 it was Nobody.
The movie
Uh,
Nobody, right?
yeah,
Or
the
you're
movie
you're not
Nobody.
saying no
Yeah,
film.
the movie Nobody. And then
Okay.
in 2020 it was um Wolf of Snow Hollow and The Gentleman. It's kind of crazy. Only four movies in the past 3 years have made my top 100.
Wrath of Man made mine. I don't know if that came out 2 years ago though. I love Wrath of Man. I'd have to check which movies made mine, but um I just thought even though maybe some of the films didn't make my top 100, they were just fun. Like
Mm.
going to the theaters and watching them. Like I loved Terrifier 2 in the theaters with other people. People were laughing. It's great fun. But that's about it, Cameron. Unless you got anything else.
Nope.
Peace.
Peace.